Hi, everybody, and I'm back, and I'm feeling much better than I was yesterday. Um, well enough that I went outside earlier to hang up the clothes. I did laundry, and the minute I got, the first like 4 or 5 items on the line, it started sprinkling. So I hastily removed them from the line and ran back in the house. Thankfully, I have an error in my kitchen, one of the old fashioned ones with the pulley, and you can hang things there and then pull it up. So I just did that. Sat around for a bit, chilling, reading my book, playing games on my laptop. And then I looked out the window, and I thought, oh, okay, it looks clear. Let's, go do a bit more gardening, put some more suppressant down, the weed suppressant. So I went outside, and by the time I got my box of tools out there and the suppressant cut, what did it do? It started to rain again. So at that point, I said, sod it. Came in the house and decided to do my online grocery shopping. So I did that. And then I thought, what I do need actually, because I don't drive in this country, I don't have a car. But since COVID, and this is the only good thing that came out of COVID, in my opinion, you can get stuff delivered. I ordered the soil that I need for the garden planters and the pots and stuff. So that will be here on Monday. At any rate, I'm doing a lot better, well enough to have a glass of wine. And let's see, that's been it. I did watch something this morning. It's on Netflix and it's called Hzrd Days. It's from Japan and it centers around the story of Yuji Kudo. He's a detective in Japan and he's having not just a hard day, but hard days. It takes place at the end of the year, right before, New Year's. So it starts off on the 29th of December and it ends, and they put little date slots in there on the 31st of December. Anyway, Kudo is having a hard day. He's on his way to see his mom at the hospital. His mom is dying, and his wife, who was trying to divorce him, messages him to say, your mother is dying, you need to get to the hospital ASAP. But as Kudo is a detective, work keeps intruding. And the main thing that's intruding at this point with his job is the fact that he's been involved in something a bit dodgy with the Yakuza boss, the local Yakuza boss, Senba. And his boss at the station, not Senba's boss, but Yuki's boss. I mean Kudo's boss at the station, involving bribes. So, and it's raining. Something I've noticed lately in all my Japanese crime movies, or Korean crime movies, or Chinese crime movies, it just seems to rain all the time. Anyway, he's frantically trying to get to the hospital to see his mother before she dies. And he's getting all these phone calls about the bribery case. And IA, Internal Affairs, is calling him. They're like, okay, your boss says we need to interview you, blah, blah, blah. And the poor guy is just frantic. On the way to the hospital, he gets involved in a hit and run accident. He kills a guy. He runs him over, and he's like, obviously, this is the last thing he needs. However, being a detective, and he's not really a bad guy, the only reason why he got involved, with the Yakuza and the bribery scheme was because of his mom's medical bills. He needed money for that. Anyway, he hits this guy, and he does pull over, and he stops, and he looks at the guy. And then on the opposite street, he's here, and there's this opposite street, of course. The police are coming along. No sirens, but they're just doing their nightly patrol. So he grabs the guy he's just hit and rolls into a ditch nearby and lays on top of him until the police patrol goes by, at which point he's like, okay, I got to get him out of here. So he puts the dead guy in the trunk of his vehicle, and then he drives to the hospital to see his mom. And when he gets there, his wife, who is furious, okay, and his 4-year-old daughter, Mika, is there. And Mika is like, Daddy. But his wife is like, you're too late. Your mother has died. I got them to leave her in the bed so you could look at her one last time. So, of course, this freaks him out. And things just go, they snowball from there. Everything this guy tries, it just gets worse and worse and worse. It's one of those films that's tricky, about 40 minutes in, you realize that none of the players that he thinks are helping him or that he thinks he can trust, everybody is just crooked in this film. So I don't want to do any spoilers. I will say one thing. The ending is a bit OTT, over the top. The last 30 minutes of the film are a wee bit disappointing, but up until then, it's brilliant. And even though he's kind of a bad guy, after all, he's a cop who takes bribes, You kind of feel sorry for him, and you actually kind of like him. You want him to get away with everything. And in that sense, at least for me, it was like when I was watching The Sopranos. Tony Soprano, let's face it, he was a bad guy. But I absolutely adored him, and I wanted him to get away with everything. So, that's it. That's been my day today. I am feeling better, and I figured out, too, why it was so achy. It's windy, and the temperature has dropped, and my arthritis has worsened as I've gotten older, so windy days make my joints really ache. That's number one. Also, windy days trigger migraines in me, so that was another reason, not to just do anything today. It's dead windy. You can probably tell from my hair. I did go out. I had to take the garbage out, but it's just it goes all over the place. Anyway, in case you cared, I just thought I'd pop in and let you know that I am much better now. To my new subscribers, thank you. To all my subscribers, thank you. If you're enjoying, my ramblings or my reviews, please share my channel link with your friends and encourage them to subscribe. That's your girl out for the day. Have a lovely hump day. Bye.